Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. The House of Representatives is looking to vote this week to add $3 billion to the VA's budget for benefits that are supposed to be paid out beginning for October, right? Now, your October payment is really paid in November, right? So November pays backward to October. Now, let's jump into it. There's a headline here. If you have not reached out to your congressional member's office, and look, I get it. Do we think, although there's only a few days left before there's a inevitable delay, but if we were to guess, this will happen last minute, the $3 billion will get pushed out, and everybody will get their payments on time and all that good stuff. But voicing your concern to your congressional member's office, be it House or Senate, Senate offices, by calling, sending them an email, whatever, 2 sentences, whatever it is, helps to show our awareness of what's going on, and that veterans and spouses and surviving spouses and dependents are paying attention to what our congressional members are doing for our VA benefits. So if you haven't reached out, reach out. Let's jump into this. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I truly appreciate it. And let's go. So House to move on $3 billion VA funding bill as specter of government shutdown looms. Millions of veterans could lose benefits if Congress fails to act by September 20th. September 20th. That's this week. All right. So I'm going to read through this article here. Now, this information about benefits not being paid is directly from the VA. The VA secretary and others in the VA leadership team have said on multiple occasions that VA benefits will be delayed if a bill is not passed prior to or by September 20th. Okay, moving on. The House of Representatives is expected to vote early this week on a roughly $3 billion veterans supplemental bill. And this is important to get through. This is part of the bigger $15 billion shortfall that the VA has experienced. So this piece is specifically for our benefits that are being paid out beginning for October. Moving on, it comes as Congress is barreling toward an October 1st partial government shutdown deadline, with no agreement between Republicans or Democrats on federal spending in the next fiscal year. Representative Mike Garcia, who is spearheading the veterans bill, is hopeful that his legislation has enough critical support to keep it free from from the political quagmire of the fiscal year 2025 funding. If the fray and chaos of all the election drama and all the drama, there are still members, in a bipartisan fashion, making sure that our veterans are taken care of, Garcia told Fox News Digital. Moving on, and we just need the Senate and the President to understand that the value as well. And when they do that, we'll fix the problem. The Department of Veterans Affairs warned Congress in July that it was about $3 billion short of the funding it needed for the current fiscal year ending September 30th and about $12 billion short of its projected needs in the following one. The VA is warning that a failure to pass the added funds by September 20th could mean that 7 million veterans could be left without benefits by October 1st. I would never just write a blank check to any federal agency that's underperforming and, effectively overrunning their accounts, Garcia explained. It is something that affects not just the 7 million veterans, but also the families of everyone around depending on those checks. And those 7 million veterans, he said, would lose their pension benefits. They would lose their GI Bill benefits, the college tuition assistance, and so forth. Moving on, Garcia's bill also includes a mandate for the VA to issue a report on the shortfall to Congress and future accountability reporting guardrails to ensure continuing funds are managed properly. Sounds reasonable considering the circumstances. $15 billion. And look, here's the deal. The $15 billion shortfall happened a month or 2 months after the VA submitted their budget proposal saying they were fine. 2 months later, sorry, we're not fine. We're $15 billion short. Something's fishy. So let's move on. So I think that having those guardrails is appropriate. It would also force the VA secretary to report to lawmakers on any future budget estimate changes. He ascribed the budget shortfall to mismanagement and bad budgeting from the VA and probably, not managing other accounts correctly and has affected these VA benefits. Moving on, for its part, the VA pointed to an increase in demand for its health care and passage of the PACT Act as reasons for the shortfall, which is kind of the go-to, whatever. Everybody points fingers. The House vote is expected early this week, right now. We are September 16th, 2024, and this is expected to happen anytime now. Lawmakers return to Washington, D.C. on Tuesday afternoon when they will have less than 10 working days to solve the broader government funding issue before the partial shutdown deadline. Government funding has been a political lightning rod that has caused some of the largest political upheavals of the 118th Congress. A planned vote on the short-term fiscal year 2024 funding extension, called a continuing resolution, or CR, was delayed in the face of some strife last week and is expected to possibly get a vote this week as well. Garcia maintained that his veteran supplemental funding bill and the wider federal spending fight were on parallel legislative tracks, but admitted he did worry about the former effort getting sandbagged by the latter. Because this turns into a pumpkin on September 20th, we don't really have time to tie this to a CR package. And I would suggest to leadership, which I have, that we shouldn't use our veterans as political leverage for other legislative initiatives, he said. Good move. And I agree. In other words, what he's saying is let's not use this veterans $3 billion funding package to add 1,000 different things, right? Moving on, the House bill is co-led by senior GOP lawmakers, House Appropriations Committee Chairman Tom Cole and House Veterans Affairs Committee Chairman Mike Bost. It comes after a similar legislative push was mounted in the Senate in August. And they did that right before they went on their summer break, right? So Congress left D.C., went back to the constituencies, and then now they're back and they're working on getting this thing voted for. So again, if you have not reached out to your legislative representatives on the House and the Senate side, probably do that. Make a phone call, send an email, whatever it is. Let them know that we need to get the $3 billion funded. So with that, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.